If walking up to your project means you have to move 3 to 6 things before you can even start, then this one's for you. Today, it's another one in our organization series. It's not about the shop, it's about the project itself. Stick around. I'm Mike. You're watching My Car Shop. You're not alone. We're all in the same boat. We flog and flog and flog on a project like our 39 Dodge Thunderstruck project that we're doing, and we end up with chaos and a mess. And it's hard to work, and I want to work on this, but I realized I can't find anything. I can't move. Everything is just here because of the last time I worked on it, and I ran out of time, and I had to just drop everything and go. I'm sure that's never happened to you, so you can use me as a bad example if you want. But today we're going to talk about doing this. We're also going to do it. Now, I'm not going to share putting stuff away. That's not the point. But we're going to go back to our shop organization principles and apply it to this project that we're working on right now. In our entire shop organization series, we focused on simple things. The first thing we focus on is the trash. Look at what trash there is and deal with that. Now, there's not a lot of trash here. We got some sawdust to clean up, some shop rags, a couple pieces of scrap tin that's not trash, a couple of pieces of paper up there. For the most part, there's not much trash here, but we're not going to skip that part. We're going to do that. So I'm going to do that, and you'll be back this fast. That was quick. It was literally a handful of paper towels and a couple pieces of paper, and that's all dealt with. So, trash first, simple. Next thing is deal with the simple stuff. Now, we have several layers of simple stuff here that need to be dealt with. So we're going to deal with parts that I've got out, and we're going to deal with tools that I've got out. I think the simplest part of dealing with simple stuff in phase 2 here is just to deal with parts. There's not a lot. There's some dust caps, a few little things here and there, a couple of new bushings up there, things like that. So I'm going to deal with those real quick, and you'll start to see that just dealing with little bits like that make a huge difference. Is it making a life-changing difference? No, but I've literally spent 10 minutes doing this so far, and it is making a difference. Now, I've got decisions to make. What's going to be next, right? Because we're in phase 2 of dealing with simple stuff. I think the simple stuff to deal with next that's going to make the biggest difference is dealing with the tools. There is a lot of tools here. There is a lot of tools. There are a lot of tools. There's a whole bunch of tools here that we need to deal with. So I'm going to deal with those, and we're going to deal with that by, like, there's a whole bunch of battery operated stuff gets put away over there. There's welding stuff needs to get put away. We've got poundy stuff and squeezy stuff and spinny stuff, and I'm going to guess that in 5 minutes, you're going to see a major transformation. Oh, yeah, we got melty stuff too. In 5 minutes, you're going to see a major transformation here. Again, 5 minutes. What I'm trying to encourage you with is when you look at a surface like this, an area where here on our chassis table, it accumulates crap really fast. But it doesn't have to be an all-day project or so overwhelming to just apply our basic shop organization principles and get her done so that your workspace is not still so overwhelming. Now, I got a bunch of hand tools here, and I'm going to go ahead and get those put back where they belong real quick. That'll be about 2 minutes worth of work. I might miss something, but it doesn't have to be done perfectly. And then we got a few other things that we need to deal with as well. So let me get the hand tools put away, and then we'll come back and talk about a couple of things relating to what we know we're going to be doing next and not being stupid about getting things under control. Again, just a couple minutes, okay? Now, we got some stuff here. Yes, I missed a couple things. We've got some stuff here that needs to stay. My wooden blocking here needs to stay temporarily, but I've got wooden blocking under here that I'm just going to shove underneath. But I got all kinds of wooden blocking up in here that I don't need. So for now, I'm going to put it under the bench because I am going to need it in the future, but I don't need it immediately. Now, I didn't put away all of my clamping pliers and magnets and markers, but I got most everything put away. I've got a few things up there we're going to talk about, but oh yeah, the jack needs to come down. I don't need that up there right now. So we're making really huge progress. And all of a sudden, to me, This space doesn't feel nearly as cluttered and as overwhelming as it did, which in turn invites me to want to work on it. Now, I don't know if you're like that or not, but whatever project I'm working on, this tends to happen. When I was working on Stitches, it seemed like I was always ending up with stuff sitting on or in the car. When I work on the Forsyth, it's the same way. The Oakland's the same way when we're doing the cab on the Fundus Truck Dodge here. Um, no matter what project it is, it seems like if it's in the shop for any length of time, it's like got this magnet. And this is a little bite thing that can really help your headspace feel. Um, well, you just want things to feel inviting, so that when you come out, you don't go ugh and turn the lights back out. Right? It's not. I'm not Mr. High Holy Organization. No, I'm a Taz all the way. We've talked about that. Um, I'm a, come in like a whirlwind, get stuff done kind of person, and I tend to leave a trail behind me as I do it. I'm never going to change that about myself, so don't even start on me about that. We've talked about that. It's about accepting yourself where you're at and learning to work with it without making excuses. But we never take our natural organizational style and ram it down somebody else's throat and say, that's the way it has to be, that's the way you're supposed to be, and if you're not this way, it's wrong. Because that's wrong. And like I said, we've got a few little things here to deal with. This doesn't really need to be here. We'll deal with that. But it's about being able to work and not trip. So steering box is going to stay, steering box bolts, all that stuff. Torsion bars need to stay. We got a bunch of extra washers and some components that our first blush on building the risers for the upper control arm mounts didn't work. So we're going to get that out of here. I do have some motor mount parts that we cut off. There's the other riser, a piece of a strut rod that we don't need. We do need a strut rod nut that can stay there. Um, and that pretty much takes care of that spot. Move our torsion bars there, steering box there, but it's a nut for castle nut, castle nut, bearing the catch for the cotter key, and that's simple. It's done. It's not perfect. I do want to take the air hose and blow some of the sawdust out of here, but for the most part, I now have a workable space that when I walk in, I don't feel like, God, what a cluttered piece of crap this is. And that's the goal. That's what I want you to do, is to be able to walk into your project and feel like, okay, I'm ready to dive into it because I don't have to spend 20 minutes trying to find the crap I need to do the job. There we go. Just like that. Clean as a whistle. Fresh and clean. Crisp and clean, no caffeine. Looks good. And again, we're not getting crazy about stuff. The welder's still in place, so I can still use it. We have a lot of our tools still on here that we're going to need for sure. Magnets, all the markers are still there, and clamps that aren't being used, and so forth. It's not about putting everything away, but rather it is about setting the space to be usable. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff under there, most of which we're going to need. I'm going to need those bigger blocks at some point because I need to raise this up more because we're sitting on the rear suspension right now. Plus, I need to raise it up more to get the front suspension up more so that we can get the control arms hanging down more so that we can get the torsion bars installed. Well, you see what I'm saying. I'm just setting myself up for success. So rather than walk out here dreading, I walk out here and I'm like, okay, I can do this now. I'm ready and I'm staged for the next phase. So let's do a quick walk around the shop. I'll give you an update because I have actually off camera been doing a major reset on the shop. I shared a little bit of it before, but I've done a lot more. So let's just do a quick walk around and that'll be it. First of all, I need to dump my containers, but the toolbox is for the most part organized. I got to go through and squirrel the sockets away, but they're all up there. So that's done. Welding bench is in premium shape here. Got that all cleaned up. My container here is needing to have everything put away, but everything's in the container now. It's just a matter of picking it up, walking around the shop, putting stuff away. My powder coating oven parts baking oven is cleaned up and in good shape. My sandblasting cabinet is easily accessible now, except for Grandpa's clock. I got the back bench done and everything put away that was on here from replacing the cabinet that was here, and we just took everything and threw it on the bench. We did put the two stainless cabinets up here and down there. Stitches will be back on soon. I haven't done much with that, but it's rolling around nicely, and that's fun. The Forsyth, we're going to be on this car really soon, getting that inner rocker panel done so we can get the torsion bar cross member in. But it's nice because we were able to roll it outside the other day. Nothing going on the cab on the Thunderstruck 39 Dodge pickup. The Oakland, I have the generator back from the shop, and it's all tore apart now, and we can send the armature down to Virginia. I just haven't had a hot minute to even think about calling them to get things set up to get it down there. But I got to do that because it's going to take them several months to get it done. So that's where we're at with that. The cats like to stay up there where it's nice and warm, so I have the top covered to protect it. Not that they do anything up there at all, but I'm just, cats. So, but yeah, look at Thunderstruck. Look at how nice it is now to see that area there. It's a winner chicken dinner. Shop organization isn't about having everything perfect. It's about making it workable so that the workspace doesn't inhibit you from doing what you need to do. I need to do a little more in the machine shop. I'm still putting stuff away. Chris brought me a whole van load of machine tools that he got, and there's a lot. And so I still have 2 milk. I got most of it put away. I have a couple pans down there, and I have a couple milk crates of tooling that I'm just not sure what to do with. That Kennedy toolbox, which was mostly empty, is full. The top of the toolbox is full with all the rotary tables. We have all kinds of angle mounts over there now on top of the power cabinet. There's a lot of tooling, and I got more coming, so I've got to really think that through how I'm going to handle that, because having all the machine tools is great. I'm so blessed to have all of this stuff for virtually zero cost. And somebody was kind of flaming me on a recent video about, yeah, it's easy for you to say doing stuff low buck. Look at the thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff you have in the shop. Well, the stuff does have value, yes, but I don't have money into it. Chris was just commenting today. He was watching a video and he said it's pretty amazing when you look around the shop and see everything that's here that cost little to nothing. It's about being resourceful. I can't emphasize that enough. I don't want to get distracted and go down that bunny trail, but we've done episodes on that. I would encourage you to check them out. They're in the Talk About It Tuesday series, especially the last couple of months, December, January, February. We've really drilled down in some of the mindset stuff, but also just confronting the lies that things have to cost a lot of money. They don't. Yes, you have to be patient and you have to be resourceful and you have to think outside the box. But, these spring mounts that we're making for this truck, they would be hundreds of dollars. What are they costing us? Nothing. So that's the point of MKS. I know that's a little bit of a distraction from what we're talking about here with not the shop organization, but the project organization. Not project as in organizing how to do the project, but just resetting the project space so that it's easier to work. So that was today's episode. I hope there's something that you can take away from this. That's the reason I share this stuff. I don't find a whole lot of thrill in sitting here on camera going, ooh, look what I'm doing. And I don't think you find a lot of thrill on the other side going, ooh, look what he's doing. I think everybody that watches, yeah, there's some entertainment value, but I think everybody that watches is more interested in thinking through what they're doing and how they can apply it, or just learning how things are done, maybe learning some different ways of thinking or different approaches. That's my hope for MKS, is that building really cool cars doesn't have to cost a lot if you just look at it differently and think about it differently. So that's it for our project organization episode. Drop your comments down there. And one more thing, it's important. I don't want you to forget.